Racial disparities in the criminal justice system are no accident, but rather are rooted in a history of oppression and discriminatory decision-making that have deliberately targeted black people and helped to create an inaccurate picture of crime that deceptively links them with criminality. Take, for example, the Shreveport, Louisiana ordinance that made it illegal to wear sagging pants. There were 726 arrests for violating that law during the 12 years it was on the books, 96% involving black men. And it wasn't until police shot and killed a man named Anthony Childs while trying to arrest him for wearing sagging pants that the law was finally repealed. Then, under President Richard Nixon and Ronald Reagan, the federal government initiated and escalated the war on drugs, which disproportionately criminalized drugs used and sold primarily by persons of color. The stop and search law resulted in persistent racial bias and produced a study that analyzed data on approximately 95 million stops from 21 state patrol agencies and 35 municipal police departments across the country. The authors found black drivers were less likely to be stopped after sunset, when it was more difficult to determine a driver's race, suggesting bias in stop decisions. Furthermore, by examining the rate at which stop drivers were searched and contraband discovered, the study found that the bar for searching black and Hispanic drivers was lower than that for searching white drivers. Discriminatory criminal justice policies and practices have historically unjustifiably targeted black people since the Reconstruction era, including black codes, vagrancy laws, and convict leasing, all of which were used to continue post-slavery control over newly freed people. Furthermore, other laws have been differently applied to people of color, even if not developed to be initially racist. For example, the Stand Your Ground law, which gained national notoriety with the death of Trayvon Martin, the 17-year-old who was fatally shot by self-appointed neighborhood watchman George Zimmerman, who subsequently was acquitted for murder. However, under the same law, Marissa Alexander, a Florida woman who fired a warning shot, that's right, a warning shot against her allegedly abusive husband, was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Florida's Stand Your Ground law allows citizens to use deadly force for self or property protection. However, there are some whites who have found that for them, it can be used as a virtual get-out-of-jail-free card that is essentially a license to kill. An analysis of convictions based on Florida's Stand Your Ground laws found that if the victim was white, a conviction of guilt for using deadly force was twice as likely than if the victim was white.